Okay. All right. Thanks for being here this morning, everybody. The reason that I am here instead of Buddy alone as normal is because it's an exciting day, and we are proudly announcing that we have come to a contract extension with the man seated to my right, Mr. Black, that will extend his leadership here through the 2022 season. So it's a 3-year extension, 4-year deal total, and Buddy is certainly, it's a well-earned and exciting extension here. The team has done well, and even more than that, Buddy has seamlessly become part of our leadership fabric, and our organization as a whole is better for it. So without further ado, it's congratulations.
Thank you.
We're excited. Thank you. And a nice piece of news to start the day today. So,
Jeff, I know you had a really good feel when you hired Buddy the first time around.
Gun to my head.
What?
Somebody had a gun to my head.
Obviously, you made the playoffs back years, first time in franchise history.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond the success, what else has Buddy brought to the organization that was what you were looking for?
Well, anytime you're looking for somebody to add to your leadership process, right? It's a process and it's work. You're looking for a certain fit, and that fit has to do with a lot of different things. For us, it can be different from org to org, but for us, it was a personality, it was a competency fit, it was a vision fit, in terms of do we see the future similarly, or the potential for the future similarly? Are we going to be able to share that vision as we actually get to work and march forward together? And are we committed to the work that it takes? And I mean, that's a simplification of a lot of it, but I mean, I think that was at the core, I would say, of a lot of it. Yeah.
Jeff, obviously he came in with a plan, but during the season there are different stress points. What are some of the things that you saw at some difficult points that he led the team through that just further confirmed that you had the guy you wanted?
Yeah, there are those stress points in any season, in great seasons and in not so great seasons. I think you guys know, there's a consistency to a consistent kind of calmness to being able to breathe and being able to calm things down in the face of in the face of fire or unfortunate events or things don't go your way. There's a lack of panic. I think he does a good job of leaning on experience, and it's not all about Buddy. So he leans on the people around him, and he leans on the folks that are empowered to do their jobs, and that includes the players. And and I think that when everybody feels that way, it can calm things down, and we get back to business in a hurry.
Has that helped you in a growth way? I mean,
sure.
You get emotional. You get a little more emotional, maybe.
I do.
Sorry, but has that helped?
Give me 5 examples right now. What? Yeah.
Has that
sure.
helped you grow too a little
Sure.
bit to see someone deal with it that way?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And that was you talk to a lot of people, you do your research. Even though I don't trust Warren Miller, I listened to Warren Miller when he had good things to say about Buddy all those years ago. And the more you talk to people, the more you learn and kind of come to, try to come to know what to expect. And then you actually live it, and it does, in terms of our relationship and the dynamics of that professional relationship, sure, it has absolutely, I've learned from him. It's freed me up to be able to focus on other things or direct energies towards other things, knowing that he's got things very much under control in our clubhouse.
Jeff, you mentioned Buddy getting the most out of the veteran talent, and obviously you got a ton of young, up-and-coming ball players in the club. What makes you confident that he can, continue to kind of get them on the track to be major league contributors?
Well, that's again. I mean, that's a shared process there. I mean, you know, young guys. There's always a lot to learn. So there's a lot of expertise that he has developed over years of either being a player or being around major league players in different capacities. He's got a number of different organizations that he has been with intimately. So he's able to compare and contrast the good and the bad. And I think, but imparting wisdom or helping players out, it's part of being the teacher model that he certainly talks about and believes in. But that's also a collaborative process, and I think that's probably the biggest thing, right? Is that you know, if you're here every single day, spring training is a great time to see it, but even throughout the season, the collaborative process that has to happen in order for us to get the most out of our players. I mean, Buddy's right at the forefront of that.
But you, can you describe a little bit your first 2 years now, entering your third? What's the experience been like for you? Has it met expectations as when
Yeah.
you came to Colorado?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd like to thank Jeff and, ownership, Dick, I mean, for, this extension, and, grateful to be in this chair moving forward. Jeff talked about the fit. For me, when I interviewed here, from the other side, watching the organization, I felt as though when that job opened up, it was a job that I was interested in, and going through the process and meeting, the Rocky leadership group and their passion and their commitment. What I saw, I thought happening in the future was good stuff. So with that, there's a great deal of thanks. But I feel that where we are as a team, where we can get to ultimately is what this is all about. And I, again, grateful for the trust that Jeff places in me to do this job. But he's mentioned it multiple times now. This is collaborative. This is something that we all do from the top, all the way down to everybody in baseball operations, and even the entire organization. This is an organization that I stress inclusiveness, working together, because that's what it takes. And to your point, how important the coaches are. To me, player development in developing young players and veteran players, it's all working together.
Do you feel like this was kind of the right organization for you? I mean, bringing in younger guys, maybe having more of a plan rather than just spending money. It just seems like this fits your coaching style.
Well, yeah, I think Jeff mentioned it. I mean, my coaching style is communicative and based on a teaching concept. That's something that I learned long ago. Even as a player, becoming a veteran player and talking to younger players and then getting into coaching, that's the part that I enjoy most is the teaching aspect. Whether it's on-field fundamentals, whether it's the instinctual part of the game. I mean, it's daily, and I love that. And the coaches who are around us at the big league level, at the minor league level, that's what I stress. So organizationally, you never know how these things you never know how a job's going to pan out, right? I mean, things are so fluid in professional sports that, the timing was right, for me to interview here and to get the job. But, and I'm excited to be here because of, where we are and really what Jeff and his guys did even prior to my arrival. Some some really good stuff on the pitching side. To set some standards in place with the pitching fellas, gave us a jump start there. Our scouting, our player development. I mean, you've seen what we've done in the draft and the players that we've developed here, right? Some of the young players who are on the field now, and even going back to Nolan and Charlie and Trevor and guys who are now the core part of our group. So it's a good organization. It's a very, very solid organization, and you're hearing about this now nationally, right? I think people in the game, people in the know are talking about the Rockies, which is a great thing.
You guys want to talk baseball?
Yeah, let's talk baseball. Thank you. Thanks, Jeff. Okay.
It's a long way from the schedule.
Huh?
It's a long way from.
From Rudy Arias. Okay, let's talk baseball.
That's baseball.
So, Brendan Rodgers
Yeah.
playing third base today, and I know obviously he had the shoulder issue at the end of last season, but how has he, I guess, big picture, kind of helped or dealt with being the top prospect? You know, all the pressure and attention.
Well, from what I mean, obviously better question for him, but from my vantage point, a year later, now, 2019 from 2018, I've seen some growth. Our conversations. Actually, we spoke with Brendan yesterday morning in here. We have, what we call player plan meetings, and we talk to, most players as we get into the early part of spring training about goals, expectations, challenges, things they're working on, things they learned during the 2018 season. And I saw, a lot of maturity when he sat in that chair, and we talked, about 2019 and watching him on the field, watching his actions, talking to other coaches. He's in a great spot. So we're excited to watch him, continue to develop and play his game, right? He comes with, some, obviously some fanfare. People are talking about him, but that's what you want. You want people talking about players in your organization. But there's a lot of other guys are being talked about too. But Brendan's handled it well. I think there's been a great deal of maturity from last year to this year, and I sense from this year to next year, you'll continue to see that. That's development. That's maturity.
I'm sorry. What is his, at this stage of his career, what is his best infield position, would you?
Well, I think, he's a natural shortstop. I
Right.
think that's where he feels most comfortable. But as we've talked about over in my tenure here and even before I got here, the Rockies have done a great job of expanding players on defense as far as other positions, exposing them to other positions, because you never know, what's going to happen in the future with positioning, free agency, guys coming up, guys moving, all that stuff. So, and that's something that we feel very strongly about the versatility, and a lot of teams are doing that. I mean, it's makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? I mean, so, but to answer your question, probably shortstop. But if you ask him, he's going to say, I feel good at second. I'm becoming much more comfortable at third. So he's doing great.
Anything else?
Hey,
You see,
good try.
I know.
Yeah, baby.
Try. Don't ever quit. It's like game over.
Yeah.
Try, he's out.
Hi, baby. He's got my back.
that's right. You fed McMahon some innings at first base yesterday. Is
Yeah.
that still going to be a big part of his process? You just
No,
with injuries,
the thing about Mac, he's versatile. I mean, how valuable is that? And we love that about Mac. So if something happens, or we feel good about putting. You don't want to be in a position where, when a game starts and a guy's out of position, you want to feel good about it, right? And with Mac, we feel that. First, second, third, that's great. But that's a great tribute to Mac, that he has that ability and a confidence level and a comfort level to play these positions, and he feels confident, and then we feel good about it. Damn. Whoops, sorry, RD. That was good.